Welcome to Those Guys Sports. It is your boy Mike, and I had to do a Raptors conversation because the preseason has just it really hasn't started. No game has started. Will be a game on Thursday. I think it's Minnesota versus Dallas in Abu Dhabi, but the Raptors. They got a couple practices in. They got a couple conversations going on. As I'm recording this, I'm also trying to watch the Blue Jays game, which I find kind of pointless because sometimes, should I go on a spiel? I know I go on a lot of spiels, but just as a Toronto sports fan, you deal with incredible amounts of pain. You deal with incredible amounts of I know a bunch of who doesn't feel a lot of pain. I'm watching Minnesota win. When's the last time they really did much? So there's so much teams like that really haven't been great. There's the Baltimore, they haven't won at all. The Ravens won a few years ago for them, but that was football years ago. So when I think about it like that, I think about there's just a lot of organizations that are going to fail. They're not going to do well. I think it's best that I just turn off my TV, because if I turn it off, then I won't feel pain. I won't feel pain. Now, speaking of pain, leads me to the guy behind me, Pascal Siakam. Now, from the beginning of the reports, from media day, everyone is talking about Pascal Siakam. They're talking about how down he looked, and Masai Ujiri not being committed to a Pascal Siakam future. Now, I will say the thing with Masai, and I've noticed it a lot lately. And I think even Nick Nurse had that same feeling and those same actions and thoughts. I can see them getting a little bit more frustrated with Raptors media and Raptors discontent. I can see them getting more frustrated with the way people are talking about them, and people playing GM or playing coach and saying this is what's best for the Raptors. They should go this way or that way. Masai straight up said, we were thinking of going younger. That Damian Lillard trade, yeah, we were in it. Bobby Webster said, honestly, we were about to give up the biggest, trade that we've ever done. We're about to give up a lot of assets, but it just didn't happen. Like everyone knows, and people have been saying it a lot, it takes two to tango. As much as you want the Raptors to make that deal, the Portland Trailblazers have to like the deal. Obviously, they like the Milwaukee Bucks deal, and that's where Dame is. Dame is not with the Toronto Raptors. Now, when it comes to the Pascal's extension, I think Masai, all in all, is saying that he wants to just see what this season's all about. If they can win games, if he sees Pascal in his future, I think he's really determining that he's not second guessing if Pascal's a good player. We all know Pascal's a good player. We all know he's an All NBA player. We know all that. He just wants to see if he wants to pay Pascal that contract that's going to be for the future, or if you want to trade him for some assets. Now, in the trade deadline, if the Raptors aren't good, I don't know what you're going to get for Pascal. Because if anything, you want them to be kind of mid. If they're mid, people will be more willing to trade for Pascal. If Pascal makes the All Star team, if he's looking like an All NBA type player, then I can see people trying to go. But if we don't see that, and this team is not good, no one's trading multiple draft picks for a guy that's leaving in free agency. They're not going to do that. That's never happened. It's not gonna happen. So it's kind of they're in a tight spot. I kind of think you sign Pascal and you deal with the rest. I think once you sign someone, then everyone's gonna be willing to trade for him. That's why I kind of don't understand. Like Jeremy Grant may go for 2 first-round picks if he has a pretty good season. So if he does, I'm pretty sure Pascal can go for 3, maybe some pick swaps in the future for a team. So that's where I kind of see with the whole Pascal situation. And I'm thinking from Pascal's side, he wants the max contract. If he made an All NBA team this year, he would have been a max contract player. He did not make an All NBA team. So that's why his next extension will be the max of what he can get, but it won't be the max that he can get if he made an All NBA team. So I'm thinking if I'm Pascal, I'm having a breakout season, and of which I've already had multiple breakout seasons, but I'm having another good season, another All NBA type season to then become a max player. Because even if you don't want to pay him, that's what his contract's going to give you. Now there's reports that Pascal still wants to sign. All the stuff that's going on is just a little awkward. It'll be water under the bridge. He'll feel better eventually, all that other stuff. Even though we don't know how he's truly feeling. We don't know if he's sad, mad, blah, blah, blah. He just wants to win. So I think that this whole Pascal's not happy thing, the Raptors had to put a picture of Pascal smiling to be like, here, guys, he's smiling. He's good. He's good. Maybe he doesn't want to talk to the media because, like I said, I feel like certain players are getting a little bit annoyed with Toronto fans and Toronto media. Can I see some of their points? Yeah. I think sometimes, as just, Toronto fans in general, we get very like, we become a little bit of assholes. Let's just be honest. We become a little bit of assholes when we don't get what we want, when we don't see the team do what we want them to do. We want every team to be aggressive or really just tank, but we really want to tank. And I've dealt with the years of bad Raptors. I have said it from day one. I want a competitive team. Always. I'm always gonna go with having a competitive team. Unless you see the next 2, 3 year drafts being like you're getting back to back positive players. Like you had John Wall, then like the Blake Griffin, and then who was after Blake Griffin? I'm actually forgetting who was after Blake Griffin. But like if you're getting like that kind of history of players, then I'll give you. But if you're telling me I get like Bogut 1 year, not that he's a bad player, but if you're telling me it's that trajectory, I'm not still for it. I think it was Dwight, then Bogut, then the 06, 07 draft, which was Greg Oden and Kevin Durant. But if you tell me I'm getting a history of a Cade Cunningham, a Zion, I may be thinking about this whole let's see what we got to do and see get some potential top draft picks. But if you're not getting that, let's just keep going. I I do believe that just to move on from the Pascal situation because I think it's overall kind of awkward sometimes. I think Pascal's gonna be fine. I think he's gonna have a good year. The thing is, the first thing I actually want to talk about when it came to the Raptors was I wanted to talk about the starting unit again. I talked about it last episode. I'm talking about it again because at the end of the day, it's quite simple to me. We are the starting unit should be, and I know it's funny. Darko doesn't want to talk about the starting unit. I don't know why. I think like I don't know who it's offending. I think if I'm going to guess that he's starting Dennis Schroeder. I'm going to guess he's starting Dennis Schroeder. I think one of the reasons why Dennis also wanted to come to Toronto because he would have the potential of starting. He says he doesn't care if he comes off the bench or he starts. So did Gary Trent. So both guys are saying they don't really mind if they come off the bench or not. I'm gonna tell you guys right now, the starting unit should be RPG. It should be like we've all said, Scotty Barnes. Then we got OG at the 2, Otto Porter at the 3, and Pascal at the 4, Yak at the 5. So I'm really all in for Otto Porter at the 3 or just starting. I don't care what position, just starting. And the reason why I keep saying it, and I'm probably gonna keep reiterating it, hopefully I don't do it again, but I'm gonna probably do it again. You want to maximize your players and you want to put everyone in positions to succeed. I like the thought that, your starting unit already has 3 guys that you want to score the most. You have Pascal, you have Scotty, and you have OG. Those are your 3 main guys that you want to score. They're probably going to be your top 3, besides a Gary Trent, are going to be your top 3 scorers. 3 out of the top 4, I would say, scores. It was 3 of the top 4 scores last year as well. So, or top 5, because you have Fred as well. But that's the same guys you want. That's 3 guys you want to score. I understand people are, it looks like Yak is going to have the ball more, make more decisions, and so is Precious. That's all. That's the main offense. If you know basketball, that's the main offense they're going to try to do. But it's basketball. There's a lot of breaking down mismatches. There's a lot. Well, I say hunting mismatches. There's a lot of. Well, if Pascal has the hot hand, we're not going to go back to this random play to get Jakob Pertl the ball in the elbow to see if someone's going to cut or not. That's never going to happen. Also, you have turnovers, things like that. You're just hoping that your main plays are going to be things like that. And when the offense is stagnant, that's what you want to hope for. More DHOs, more guys cutting and things like that. So that's what I think they're going to hope for. But I'm thinking you maximize your bench. That's what matters to me the most. The starters were good last year. Defensively, that starting unit's going to be good. You still have Pascal. You still have Scotty handling the ball more. You can still give the ball to one of those guys for a mismatch because if you think about it, OG is about what 6'6", 6'7". You have Pascal who's 6'8", 6'9". You have Scotty who's 6'9", 6'10". I think he said he grew. You have Otto Porter around 6'9" as well. You have four guys all that height. Plus you have Yak who's a 7-footer. You're hunting mismatches. You will always go against a smaller guard. And if you're going against this is I know teams like the Warriors may be like they can shoot the lights out on us and they can probably beat us. I'm not. I'm just saying if you have a small guards like a Lillard, you can attack that. Like you can. Oh, sorry, I said G State, but I'm like a Curry. But you can also attack a Lillard. Heck, if you're facing the Boston Celtics, you have size over them, right? You still do. You can still attack a Drew Holiday because you can. Drew Holiday is gonna have to guard probably the worst player, so he probably has to guard, or he can guard a Pascal, but you still got the line, you still need JT to guard or Jaylen Brown. I just think you have a potential for mismatches. And what I think it does a lot, it just makes the bench become faster. Their ability to shoot is better with Gary and Dennis. You have a point guard in Dennis leading them. Once again, you have a scorer in a Gary, and I think I said it in videos in the past. Pascal and Gary are the two guys, no matter what, I always want on the court. Because if I need a bucket, I need to give it to those guys because those are the two best guys who can get a bucket at any time. So that's something that I would like to see happen for the Raptors team. I'm hoping I'm right. I know I'm probably not. I think they're going to start a Gary Trent or a Dennis Schroeder. But yeah, that's what I do. I want to exploit them. I want to make sure Precious gets as much touches as possible. And I think with that bench unit, he does have it. I think no matter what, Gary is going to start. But I know they want to play Otto Porter. He is your not your best, but one of your better and 3-point shooters, and you're gonna need him. You need him to do 2 of 6 one game or a 3 of 4 one game in the 3-point line. You need that. The man can shoot the ball at a 40% rate. You're gonna want him on the court. And the same thing way reason why I think you'd also not start Dennis Schroeder is because he's probably better off the bench. He's not as good of a 3-point shooter as Gary Trent and an Otto Porter. And I think that starting unit is going to need a lot of 3-point shooting because as much as we want Pascal to hit 36, 37%, as much as we want Scotty to, let's just know what we know right now. What we know right now is that Scotty and Pascal are about 33, 34%, but you have OG who's close to 40%, and you have Otto who's close to 40%. That's who you play. And then at the end of the day, once again, you can hunt mismatches all you want because either Pascal has it at the post and he either has to decide if he's going to give it to Otto Porter or OG Anunoby. And that's pretty good. That's still length. Guys who can shoot the ball, hit the corner three pretty well. And Pascal himself can hit the corner three pretty well. He's actually a way better corner 3-point shooter. I would like to see him up his corner threes even more because I believe he's way better at that than he, shows and has shown. Yeah, so I told myself I wasn't talking too much about the starting unit, but I did. I really think that it should be Otto Porter. Like that's what I want to see. Now the other things that we saw when it comes to media day, I don't think we saw really anything. Like I said, the Masai thing was kind of weird. The Pascal seemed thing kind of weird. That's why everyone's like Pascal's not happy. But the one thing I did see is the they all really like the coach. And I think what this coach is preaching, they're gonna go with because he's preached a lot of teamwork. He's preached a lot of let's get everybody involved. He's preached a lot of unselfishness. That was the theme. If there's any theme, this whole this whole run of media day was we're not going to be selfish. We're not going to be selfish. Selfish. We left that selfish stuff last year. The one thing, Masai said is this team will not be selfish. And you can tell by the way everyone's talking, they're trying to make sure that nobody is selfish. I don't know what happened last year that, made everyone think there was selfishness. I don't think there's a lot of selfishness. I definitely don't think Pascal was selfish. I don't know how you can call someone. Well, probably did that with Trey Young, but I don't know how you could call a team selfish when like Scotty averaged like close to 5 assists, so did Pascal, and so did Fred. I don't know what else could be selfish. I don't know if you want everyone to average like 4 to 5 assists a game, and I don't know what that really looks like when it comes to selfishness. But I can see potentially like everyone was looking for their specific numbers And maybe I think that the vibe alone on the team was just poor. The vibe alone was poor. People said there was a vets versus young guys thing, which ultimately I think if we have to step back and become an aggregate of it all and a rumor mill of it all, it looks like it was a Fred and Scotty thing. It really does look like it was a Fred and Scotty thing, where Fred really felt like this and Scotty felt like this, and I think that was clashing. And then Nick Nurse has never made it better when there's clashes of people. That's why I can't wait to see what his Philadelphia look is going to be like. But that's what it just looked like from my vantage point of watching this team. Just seemed like the vibe wasn't good. But the one thing I want to call out is that Scotty Barnes looks a lot more happier. That first season, the man was happy. He was a young guy just trying to learn and understand the game. And I think this year we're seeing a little bit more mature, but still young, still like 22. But we're seeing a guy talk and the way he's I just feel like his vibe is different. I think him alone, his vibe is different. I also felt the same way with OG. I feel like OG and Scotty's vibe are a little bit different. It's like they know that this year they're gonna get the ball more, maybe. I think even OG is gonna get the ball a little bit more. But yeah, you can see it with both of them, man. They seem a little bit more happier, seem a little bit more chippier. The one thing you can tell, and you can even see what Darko is saying and what Scotty's saying, they're trusting Scotty Barnes with the ball a lot more. So we should probably expect this season a lot more Scotty Barnes at the point. I think that's the vision that they see. That's what they want to see. I you can tell from the way they're talking and the way the whole team is moving. We're really transitioning to a Scotty team. Though Pascal's our best player, we're really transitioning to Scotty's team, and Scotty's going to be our point guard of the future. Hence, once again, I wouldn't be shocked if also Gary started. I think Dennis is going to start because of his relationship with Darko, but because Dennis came off the bench and things that he's done, I can see that happening. I want to chime in on something I saw just recently, like 10 minutes ago, not 10, like obviously 30 minutes ago. I saw Precious Achua talk, and they were talking about his role when it comes to the new coach and how it's going to end up being. I am not sure. I think Precious is going to have probably the hardest time with this coach because the one thing Nick Nurse wanted everyone to do was to do whatever, do whatever, do like just do whatever you want. Defensively, attack everyone. Offensively, see your mismatch, attack, and if you have the ball, do something with it. And I think that's what we could potentially expect from this squad as well. But I think for some reason, when it comes to Precious, I can see it being a little bit harder for him. I can see Precious. I don't know. Maybe it was just a little bit of his attitude throughout seemed a little bit off. And because the one thing he said is like, as much as we have to get to know the coach you have to get to know me. Precious, hey, you're not an all-star, my guy. One day you will be, maybe. But unless you are one of those guys, I should say, even this guy behind us, if you're one of those guys, then you can kind of be like, well, they have to get to know me too. Like, I'm the all-NBA player. So I'm hoping, not to say his attitude changes a little bit, but I'm hoping we can see better come from it. That's what I can say in all honesty. I'm hoping we can see better from it all. But I don't know. I don't know about the Precious stuff. I think he may be a trade asset. I'm not sure if anyone's ever mentioned it, but I think Precious could be a trade asset. But I don't know. Precious is one of those guys who maybe on his if he leaves the Raptors, I think it'd be like Precious's like third or fourth team. The next one will be his third, maybe his fourth team. We may see a little bit more of like, oh, this Precious guy is good. But I think people have to kind of let him kind of be free. And I think this team, if they want to win, there's no version of Precious being free. There just isn't. We need to see more of like rebounding, shooting the three at a 36% clip. We need to see that. We need him to be a big, like Darko had said, they want him to have the ball at the elbow just like a yacht. I did also see that they want to potentially put him at the 5. That's where I gotta disagree with Darko. I like a lot of things Darko has said, but the one thing I'm not sure if I agree too much is putting Precious Achua at the 5. I don't think so. Now, if it's a small ball lineup, like a really small ball lineup, like if he's going against like a Nas Reed, okay, I could almost go against. But let's say he's playing and he's going against um like a Rudy Gobert. I'm not happy with that. I'm not happy with that matchup. I don't like that matchup. It seems kind of weird matchup. I think like an actual center and Precious just don't. He has all the defensive tools. I think Precious is more of a power forward wing. Like I like the thought of like especially if Boston plays Tatum at the four. I like a Precious going against Jason Tatum, one of the better defensive players we have. Some of the things that I can see happening with a Precious Achua. But I don't know, man. I wasn't too. Maybe it's just early days, and who knows what's gonna happen. But wasn't the biggest fan of what what I was kind of watching. I'm hoping to expect a little bit more from a Precious Achua this season. But I think we're all expecting a little bit more from Precious Achua. I think we were very nice about how Precious played, this past season. He was a disappointment too. From the last season before that he had and what we expected, he was a disappointment. Point blank, period. He was a disappointment. Now, if you're like a Toronto fan, I could go really crazy on the Blue Jays right now, but I'm not gonna. I'm gonna chill out because what's the point? What is the point? So I don't know what to expect from this season. I will probably do my predictions closer. I'm about to reach out to a few guys to do some interviews. Can't name any names yet because I don't know if I'm going to get them or not. But I know some of them are out there in. I think they're in Vancouver, so I know some of them are out in Vancouver right now. So what we gotta kind of gotta wait and see, really, see what we can do. And but yeah, that was my just Raptors podcast for the week. I won't even call it a podcast, more like just conversation, really, guys. Now tell me what you guys think. Comment below about Pascal. You're signing him, not signing him, right? I do know he wants more money, right? We all want that money. That's what Giannis said. He wants more effing money, right? That's what Giannis had said. So hopefully we can see more come out of everybody. Hopefully, more we can see. I want more conversation. I want to know what the hell, who's starting the unit. I want to really hope that my Otto Porter thing comes true. But we need to see this guy also play like 40 to 50 games this season. But we'll see. We'll know. We got to see. But like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys again